Hello and welcome to today's Tech Talk. I'm Yandtech and I'm so excited to have you join us as we discuss the phase and the transitioning into the tech career. A field that you need to be oriented, you need to be guided, and you need to be mentored on what to do, how to do it, and why you are doing it. So today with me, I have Mrs. Patient Afombo from the UK, a master degree holder in software, a consultant with a decade of industry experience. She is also a CEO of Afobotech Consulting. So I am so excited to have you join me today in this discussion. So we are going to start looking at how far you have come with the years of experience being the CEO, being an expert in the field. We'll start this way, starting with the background. So what actually sparked your interest in technology? What initially drew you up to the field of technology, and what was that particular moment or experience that made you to be like, I want to do technology?
Thank you, Yannick. Thank you. Just before I answer your question, just going to give a brief introduction. I know you've already said it, but I'm just going to reiterate. My name is Patience. I have so many hats that I wear. I'm a mom. I'm a consultant. I'm the CEO, owner of Yandtech Consulting. I'm an AI engineer. I am an instructor. So many things in the IT field. But yeah, to be honest, to answer your question, I didn't have the interest from the word go, right? So I was this young girl, straight out of university, confused and not even sure of how the future was going to look like. So going into tech was not something that I had imagined or even dreamt of. It was a coincidence, and a coincidence that kind of, led me to where I am today. So I would say it's God. I didn't have any mentor. I remember my uncle's wife gave me this number, saying I should call one IT instructor in the US and express my interest in learning. Back then it was Linux. So in learning Linux, I had tried different things. Mind you, I was studying economics in university. So, and obviously the dream was to get out, get a job in a bank, work as a banker or maybe any other role in a bank, but not IT related. So when I was like, I went after trying different things and nothing seemed to work. I tried nursing, it didn't work. I tried, not that, I think it didn't work, not because I was, I wasn't good enough in terms of passing the exam or doing all those other things that are required to get an entrance into the nursing school. It's just because for some reason something will come up that will make me postpone my entrance or postpone my studies or something. So at one point I'm like, this cannot be this. How I tried this and it doesn't work. And so when I got this number from my uncle's wife, I said, okay, let me try IT. Maybe looks like this nursing is not my portion. It's not something that is for me. So I said, okay, let me learn Linux. I've never heard about Linux. I didn't know what it was about. And I said, let me just give it a try. I had little kids back then. So I said, okay, as a stay-at-home mom, let me just study something. Not a stay-at-home mom, but I used to work part-time. Let me just do something, study-wise, learn something, a skill. And I started. I called the guy. His name is Emmanuel. I called him, and we made arrangements, and then for a start date, and I started. And into like 2 weeks or a few days into the program, I was like, I don't know if I left fry pan and went to fire, or is this something? But because there was something in me that said I needed to change my situation. I needed to change my status. I can't go on going around in circles. I need to do something that is concrete and long lasting for my career to define, fulfill purpose. So I pushed myself, I connected with other students, and we were encouraging one another. We're encouraging each other. And I went through this course. It was a 6 months long course, and I finished it. And there was boot camp after that, where you get to now listen from other ex-students, and then also, get help from the instructor on how to build your CV and LinkedIn profile and all those things. So that was that. So within a space of 1 year, I learned Linux. I prepared my CV, prepared myself for the tech industry, and as God will have it, I had my first job exactly 1 year after the 7 months after the training. And and from there till today, it's just, I'll
Oh,
say,
wow.
history.
Oh, wow. That's a
So
wonder.
yeah, so it was not like a straight, like I had a role model or something I aspired to become.
Yes.
But to tell you the truth, when I landed my first job, 6 to 7 months after the training, that was the best experience ever. I felt like I have finally found purpose. This is where I belong. And so it was so fulfilling and reassuring. And I said, okay, people hear God in different ways, but I think this one is definitely a yes from God, because I felt fulfilled. I felt happy within me, not just because I got to sit on sit in an office and everything was provided. No, no, no. It was just an inner sense of fulfillment. So that's how I got into it. And yeah, until today, I've been trying different things, but yeah, still my bus stop.
And here you are today as a consultant and as an expert. And it came as a result of a phone call, and then the whole
Yeah.
story changed.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
And you began with Linux.
Yeah, started with Linux. Started with
The
Linux.
challenging, and that was a challenging one. I know when I started my
Well, it
career.
was. Yes, it was a challenge. Doing system administration, you don't even know, you haven't even finished looking at your laptop and all the features and how to even
Yes,
administer your personal laptop. Then talk less of now going industry, going like industrial. So it was a huge
typing
jump.
commands,
Mm.
typing commands. They don't know
Oh
what you're
yes.
typing.
Exactly. Just hoping for the best.
Oh, that's a great one. So it
Yeah.
was actually a boot camp. That is a 6 months training.
Yeah.
And after the 6 months, you had your first job.
In
So there
IT.
was nothing like a degree or a certification. You had no degree, you had no
No,
certification.
no.
So what are some of these challenges that you face in making a decision and transitioning yourself from other field to the tech field, and then how you push yourself to become who you are today?
So first, there was a vision, a determination, a desire to succeed.
Mm.
No dream, well, a desire to succeed, but no particular, career, or I didn't have like an image of what I wanted to become, but in me, I was like, I need to change my situation. And so that desire, that passion, that that was the energy. I think that was the energy or the fuel that sparked my interest and my determination to try this IT. So the challenges came, of course. You're learning something new. You don't have any background, no certificate, no, but that was one challenge, but it didn't stop me. You know why?
Mm.
Because I said this was the moment that I was going to either make it or break it. To get
Oh, oh yes. Oh yes, I get.
that defining moment. So, and I thank God that He didn't fail me. Yes, I launched into it. It's like you're launching into the unknown. You don't know what's awaiting you in the future. You don't know what's coming up. But my unknown turned to a blessing. So that I'm grateful. Yeah.
Wow, that's an
Mhm.
encouragement. And then looking at where you started,
Yeah.
coming into an industry, do you had an idea about computer at first before starting with Linux? Because Linux is something else. I can tell. Typing the commands,
Mm.
installing this from that, doing commands is why it is way different. So
Yeah.
how did you face it and how did you overcome it?
So, yeah, like I said, 2 weeks into the program, I thought I hesitated. I had a second thought of dropping.
Give it up.
But how I overcame was I remember the instructor every day before. At the start of each class, he would tell us how much we're going to make after this, how much you're going to earn, call these 6 figures, 7 figures, and that sparked. That was like an encouragement. Do you get? Imagining yourself, you started thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do if I earn this 6 figure, 7 figure? How will my life look like? Oh, like the comfort, the luxury, just that sense of,
Mm.
this is it. If other people can do it, why not me? So it was that. I know the money factor is not something that you say, that would drive somebody's interest, but in my case, it worked. It was an encouragement to all of us to see people. People were testifying. There'll
Yes.
be students that will come in and say, "Oh, I used to be a warehouse. I used to work in a warehouse. Now I'm earning a 6 figure salary, 7 figure." I'm like, "What?" So it is someone's story. How I overcame was listening to others. Okay,
Mm.
how they struggled, how they got into tech, and how they are succeeding in tech, and looking at myself and saying to myself, if this person can make it, why not me? It was not a negative comparison, or it was rather um, an inspiration
Mm.
to defy the odds, to break through, to push it, to push the boundaries. Like you said, like I said, you either make it, or you die trying, like the people say. Yeah.
Make it, break it.
Yes. Yes. So it's it. And first of all, you need to have the passion within you, a desire to change your status. Because if you don't have that desire, even if people encourage you, inspire you, you'll never get anywhere. So you need to first of all tell yourself, I need to change. I need
Mm.
to change my life. Okay. And to do that, I need to work extra hard. Other people who are at the top, they started from somewhere. You don't start climbing a tree from the top, you start from the bottom. So
Oh, yes.
learn the skills to climb step by step till you get to the top, like every other person, in a clean way. Okay?
Mm.
Hard work. Yeah.
There we go. Coming to the skill. Before coming to the skills,
Yeah.
we know how challenging this field might look like.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something called the why factor. You must know your why before pursuing a career in tech.
Yeah.
Because as you said, there are a lot of challenges. Challenges, and there's this voice that usually tells you to give up. This is not for
Mm-hmm.
you, not for
Mm-hmm.
you. In the course of doing a lab, you'll be facing challenges, and at some point you'll be like, did I really made up my mind to focus in this field? And then I'm faced with these challenges. So there is always a why factor. So what is that why? What is that why that you really ask yourself? In the course of the breakdown, in the course of giving up, there is a push. There is something that always pushes you to keep going. What is that key thing? Because you made mention of the money. Many people are always excited about the 6 figure. But as you said, it's not just about the 6 figure, because most of the times you hear about the good stories, the 6 figures, but they'll never tell you about the struggles. They'll
Mm-hmm.
never tell you about the challenges. Now, when
Yep.
you start facing those challenges, you'll be the one now to boast yourself, to boast your immune, to fuel your system to keep going.
Is by refusing your current situation, refusing to accept where you are right now. So if you don't like where you are, that should be enough encouragement to push you to try harder, try
Oh,
things. Yeah. Refusing to accept where you are right now. Said, this is not my bus stop. This is not my life. This, I can do better. I know I
mm,
have so much to offer. I have a lot to offer. So this is not me. This is not who I am. So refusing to accept your current present circumstances will help you to push, push further. Okay?
keep
Yeah.
pushing. Keep
Yes.
pushing.
Yeah, keep pushing. If you know that you lack any, there are gaps in your skills, or there's something you need to work on personally, go for it. It doesn't matter. Start somewhere.
Mm.
Start somewhere. Build your confidence. Build your confidence. We all have gifts. We all have talents. We all have skills. If you're lacking in an area, nourish that area by learning, by learning. Learning. Education is an investment, and you're investing in your own self. It's not for any other person. So don't listen to the negative stories or the negative outcomes. Believe in yourself. People say, they say believe in yourself. No, no, you should believe in God. Yes, we believe in God. But believing in yourself is that aspect of accepting what God has put in you and knowing that you can use that to become something better, greater. Yeah. So
Mm.
if believing in yourself is believing in what God has put in you, right? God will not come down here on earth and then begin to write applications for you or begin to learn for you. No, He has given you everything that you need. Utilize the resources to improve your life. Do you get? That's for me. That's how it works. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's a powerful one, I must say.
Mm.
Talking about the skill gap, you spoke about skill gaps.
Yeah.
One challenges I have seen so far with many folks that are coming to IT
Mm.
is at the aspect of this skill gap. They don't actually know what to do, how to start. I believe it is just wrong orientation
Yeah.
because they believe the field is kind of broad, and
Mm-hmm.
then many are passionate about doing tech, passionate about doing IT, but they're not actually oriented on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you overcome the skill gaps or knowledge deficiencies in your career?
Right. So that's a good question. First, to begin with, if you're a novice, if you're new, start somewhere. Okay.
Mm.
Start somewhere. And once you've gotten the hang of what you're currently doing, learning, then begin to explore. IT is like the sea. You know, you can coast or you can, start from somewhere, and then before you swim in the ocean and find yourself in maybe the Atlantic or the Pacific, that is
That's
it.
true.
So it's not like it's a straight career that you say, okay, if I started with this, I'm going to carry on with this. No, it's very diverse. So start somewhere, build your confidence in what that little thing it is that you've started with, and then begin to search. Okay, what is it that you feel like learning? What additional skill do you want to put on top of what you have? And then build on that. So it is like an endless world of opportunities.
Mm.
So try by entering into it. I remember there was something that reminds me of something that a brother in church once told me when I was looking for jobs, and he just told me, you've learned Linux, you've learned all these things. Just look for an
Mm.
opportunity, entry level role, and go into it. Once you've entered, that's the secret. You've entered, that's it. You begin to sail and go anywhere you want to go to. But the most challenging part of it is entering. But to enter, just look for anything little that has IT related, things. Not necessarily what you've learned or studied. Just enter. As soon as you enter, begin to fly. So don't stop at that level. Build your confidence and then begin to explore other opportunities in that space. So that is how I overcame. I started it was a Linux executive role. I was using Linux to process data, do all those things that data analysts do. So I was doing that in a Linux platform. I did that for a couple of years. So, but later on, I discovered something about AI, artificial intelligence. I was like this. So, but later on, I discovered something about AI, artificial intelligence. I was like, wow, okay, why not try learn this thing, And I slowly began to, I went on to do a master's. The reason I went on to do a master's after that, just in the bit of trying to, close some of the skill gaps that I had, was because to progress, if you want to advance, go to those top roles.
Yes.
Yeah, you need something. You need a certification. You need something to back you up to get. Yes, you might have it all here in your head, but sometimes when you want to advance further in your career, you need a substantial something. Okay, that's in the corporate world. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
That's
So
true.
keep learning.
Keep learning, keep building.
And exactly. Yes.
You said something about, you made mention certification, degree, and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of questions. So I believe it has been asked to you a couple of times,
Yep.
where folks usually ask, do I need to have a certification to have a job in IT, or do I need to have a degree? Do I need to be a degree holder to have a certification in IT? But looking at your instance, you never had a certification, be it a degree. But here you are today, after you got the first job and then you went back to school, you did your master's, and
So I would say certificate, degree, there are people with brilliant computer science degrees, but they don't have jobs.
exactly.
And there are people with tons and tons of certifications and they still don't have. Well, they find they struggle to get a job. Now, what happens is, or the reason for that is the geographical location you find yourself in. Okay, you can be in a country where to get an IT role requires a certificate or a
Yes.
certification. And you can be in another country, like in England, where they don't even look at those things. What they care about is how your interview, how you sell yourself, you market yourself, what you can bring to the table. Okay. So that's England. So I don't know about other places in the world, but I would say from my experience, where you find yourself, the country where you find yourself, okay, study the system, understand the system, okay, to know what the requirements are. If they need certification, dedicate 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to do the certification, get something, and then apply for those roles. Okay. England, yeah, they would like to see the that mentioned in your CV, but
Yeah.
that does not sell you. Okay. You have to sell yourself with your mouth, what you can bring to that, to the company, bring to the table. So I would say you should be self-motivated to start, and you should be able to sell yourself on your CV or resume. Okay, tell them what you can do, because a lot of IT companies don't even. Some of them would rather employ you based on your experience than what you say you have as a certificate. Okay,
Oh, yes.
so they'll say, okay, if you don't have a degree in computer science, we would consider work experience. That's how it does happen. That's what I mean. That's some employers here in England. That's what they do. So they'll say, okay, we need somebody with a BSc, bachelor's degree, or maybe a master's. But if you don't have those, okay, we can consider work experience. So work experience is where you now have to sell yourself. And when I say sell yourself, have a portfolio, have something that you can show, a project, evidence of something you worked on, you built on, and that is very relevant to that company or to that particular role you're applying to. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. That is just it. So most of the times it is with tech, it is more of the skills, because
Yeah.
it is a skill that you are building, not the paperwork you're defining. You
Yeah.
can see the paperwork, but you don't know how to do the stuff.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. So most of the times you see folks that come into IT, they are more interested to get the certificate first without having the skills. They will
No.
tell you, let me have the certificates to prove myself. But you're not proving yourself based on the certificate. You're proving
No.
yourself based on questions they're asking you.
Yeah.
On an interview, they don't ask you that, hey, do you have this certificate? They're asking you, can you do these stuffs? Can you
Yes.
code? Can you run
Yeah.
a pipeline? Can you? So it is how much of the can that you can do before the
The
certifications.
certificate. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It goes without saying. Yeah, you should know how to sell. It is selling yourself. And to that, what I would say, you might be wondering, like, okay, when I say sell yourself, what do you mean by sell yourself? All right.
Yes.
If you put on your CV that you've got 5 years experience, 2 years experience, 3 years experience, also include an interesting project you worked on. Now we have this GitHub platform. Okay. GitHub is an open source, it's open platform for all IT tech, the tech people out there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So think about something interesting that you want to do with IT. Okay, you want to work on an interesting project, and then go to GitHub, start your repository, begin to upload your code, your things, and make it open for people to see. Even if it's just something like opening a file and closing it or whatever it is, but make sure that you're putting your projects there for the public to see. So during the interview, How do you market yourself? You're going to share them a link of your GitHub account. Tell them what you've been building, the projects you've been working on over the years, over the months. I've been working on this thing, I've done this, I did this, I did this, I did that. And they can go because they can see it because it's open to the public. All right. So that is how you sell yourself. Sell yourself by having evidence of what you can bring to the table.
There we go. That's why they're selling yourself. That's why that's where the question comes up. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
That's always the first question in every interview. Tell me about yourself. They are giving you the opportunity to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Say the stuff you know and then prove them out based on the questions.
Yeah.
So with IT, we know of since as it is a skill. Or people usually say, I practice and I forget. I am doing this today, tomorrow. It's like I know nothing. So based on your journey so far, I know there's a difference between preparation and practice. So based on your journey this far, coming from transitioning from nothing now into tech, becoming an expert, a CEO, a tutor, that's a lot. It's a whole lot of stuff that you have bodied in. So how can you differentiate between the two for those coming in, for those that will be listening to you, be it at the level of preparation and practice? Because to clear it out, John Maxwell, he said in the Power of Five, he said the goal for someone bringing down a tree, like someone going to the forest to bring down a tree, his goal is to bring down that tree. It doesn't matter how long the tree is going to fall down. So what he applies is the Power of Five. So every day he's going to the forest and he is hitting the tree with an axe or with a cutlass 5 times every day. So if it takes him more than a month, the goal is for that tree to fall. And that is the same stuff many do not apply in an IT. They just want to get in and know it all. Use a short skill mentality. So how do you overcome that in your own side?
Right. So I think first to upskill or to keep up with the skill, I tell my students, right? Because even in my before I go to the what I want to say what I want to say, to keep up to date with those skills so that you don't forget is practice. But secondly, that's practice. And secondly, what do you want to do? What new innovative idea? What's something new you want to discover about what you have right now? I always tell them, if you're doing IT, be a learner. Be prepared to be a learner. You are going to learn for the rest of your life. Because if you stick to whatever you have now, it will be outdated like software. You need to patch your skills. You need to patch your knowledge all the time. So have that at the back of your mind that I'm going to a field where I am a lifelong learner. I'm going to learn for life. And so that should not scare you. Learning for life doesn't mean that you're going to be having a master's degree, a bachelor degree, everyday certification. No, it's the passion, the desire to learn something new. Okay, now we're in the era of AI. Everybody is doing AI. Okay, ask yourself, what is it about this place? What can I learn? Or what interesting thing can I do? You're not switching career, but you're just adding to your skills so that you are always on your computer learning something. Okay, you're always learning. That will keep you motivated. If you're not motivated, you can't go anywhere. Self-motivation, you will never go anywhere. Even to learn, even if they say, okay, we are learning how to application or maybe something that will just open a file or send you emails or do this, you will not learn it. It will be something easy, but because you are not self-motivated, it will be so difficult. If you are motivated and passionate to learn, passionate about learning, making a difference, adding your voice to the masses, being a contributor, always be on your computer. Yes, be a life learner. Desire to know things. You cannot know everything, but build little by little. They say, every single drop, doesn't matter how long, is going to get full one day. Okay? So don't expect because one thing that confuses a lot of new beginners is wanting to learn so many things. Oh, you want to learn so many things. You are going to confuse yourself. Take one, learn it, become comfortable, and then start building on it little by little. Different things, trying different things. Just be self-motivated to learn. Be an inventor, a creator, and innovative, wanting to bring something Then design something. Like for me personally, it's not just about learning and accumulating all these certificates or whatever. It's something. Be because now we are in AI. I keep talking about AI because I'm very passionate about it.
That's it.
Sorry. Yeah. That was somebody's idea. You have to know, first and foremost, it's somebody's idea. Somebody sat somewhere and thought of how to design something that, would transform text to this or transform images to this or do this. It was an idea, it was conceived. And then now how to birth it was how over the years, the person and a lot of people, they started trying different things to achieve, bring to life what he
Yeah.
had in, his mind. So that should be your goal as an IT professional. Think of something that you can do that is new, that is innovative. Okay? It might not be very big. Just try. If you're clicking here to open a file, ask yourself, okay, is there another way that I can do to open this file rather than clicking, etc.? So that should be your motivation. Just trying to discover, invent something new, that add value, add so many things in the tech space. Okay. Yeah. So
Oh.
self-motivation is basically, I think, the number one
Mhm.
factor. Mhm.
There we go. Keep
Yeah.
learning, keep building,
Motivated. Yeah.
always keep motivating
Yeah.
yourself. And when you want to go into IT, it's very simple to understand. Most of the times, I don't know why, because let's say for Windows, there is Windows Update. The reason why they're doing the update is for
Something new.
new stuff to come
Exactly.
in. So if
Exactly.
they are updating the system and then you as someone who wants to know the system, you don't want to update yourself,
Exactly.
there is a problem.
Of
So
course.
you need to keep learning. You need to
Yeah.
update yourself as well. You need
Yeah.
to learn new stuff. You need to
Yeah.
learn new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Concerning this skill gap,
Mm-hmm.
there is just a whole lot of tools. And as you said, a whole lot of folks are just confused.
Mm.
I want to become a software engineer. I want to become a system engineer. I want to become a DevOps engineer. I want to go into AI.
Mm-hmm.
All those different things, they are not the beginner's level. They are all professional high levels.
Mm-hmm.
But before going, for example, let me use the side of as a DevOps engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Before becoming a DevOps engineer, you don't just go into DevOps because we know DevOps is a combination of two teams, development and operational.
Yeah.
So if you are making a decision to come in as a DevOps engineer, you need to first of all understand the dev side. You need to understand the operational side. And you need to start from somewhere. Linux, knowing operating system, knowing infrastructure as code, knowing source code, knowing CI/CD pipeline, monitoring, and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you need to start.
Mm-hmm.
When you start from the DevOps, you're going to overwhelm and you will give up.
Yeah.
And you
That's
easily give up. So with
yeah.
your side, you have been
Mm.
mentioning AI and machine learning. I know that's your specialty. I know you're doing so great in it. Now, for many folks that will be listening to you, that this is the end of AI. Everyone wants to do AI, but there is a beginning before that point.
Yeah.
So you as a tutor,
Yeah.
how do you craft or ladder your students that this is where you need to start? This is the foundation that you need to know before coming into the AI.
So programming fundamentals, I tell them upfront.
Mm,
The backbone of AI is programming, and the
yes.
program language is Python. So I have had students who knew nothing about computer. Like they basically cannot open Word document.
Mm,
But they come to my program because they're interested to learn. But now what do? I can't push them away.
yes.
I take them from that little level of theirs and I start building them up. I teach them the programming fundamentals and I make it in such a way, in an interactive way, like I relate it. So I break things down. For example, I'll tell them Python is a programming language. What is a language? We speak English. You can understand me. I can understand you because we speak something that we both understand. When it comes to programming, programming is basically giving your computer a set of instructions to follow and produce me these results. Okay. So I break it down like that and I tell them, okay, Python, for example, is an object-oriented programming language. When they say object-oriented, means that what? You are focusing your programming to an object. So you define an object and then you begin to give it characteristics, and then after that you start giving it instructions. It could be a word, it could be anything, it could be a table, it could be anything, but it is an object. So with that understanding, they now have like a mental picture of what they are going into. All right.
Yes.
So when we start with the syntaxes and we start writing basic code and all of that, it's the joy when you write a code and then it executes, compiles, executes, and then successfully. You see that you feel like you've arrived. You feel like you've arrived. So I take them and I push them. So now this is me as an instructor making my students enjoy programming and build on those programming skills. But now you at the receiving end, you have to be motivated. I tell them, if you're not motivated, no matter how much I chew this thing and give you, you cannot swallow it.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So be motivated to learn. Motivated to learn. So at the beginning, you want to do anything, whatever you aim to go for, always look for the bottom to start from there and build yourself your way up. If you start at the top, you might be lucky. If you have cramped, you might be lucky you enter there by chance. But you see, when you get there by chance, just pray that they don't embarrass you and then you fall down.
Getting by chance, you go out by decision.
Yes. If you happen to go at the top by chance, all right, favor can take you there.
Yes.
One thing to do when you are there is to begin to build those fundamental skills that you lack. Build them up as soon as possible because they might embarrass you. And I'll tell you a little story about myself. When I got my job, I didn't have any degree in computer science or anything. When I got my first job, I remember I started, it wasn't a DevOps role, but it was an analytical role, and we were working a lot with developers because we're using an AI tool to manipulate data, okay, and produce, all the statistics, etc., etc. So we were running the codes, and developers were giving us the code to run, and customers would give us their data and would do all those things for them. So I remember when first day or first month into this job, I didn't know how to open Outlook.
I know.
So I didn't know how to open. Well, they'll send me emails with instructions. Okay, I'll open. Yeah. I'll be honest, well, I opened the Outlook, no problem. So, there are certain things you can do to your email space, arrange folders, arrange emails, this one, important ones. And I didn't know all those things. So my manager will send me emails, I'll read the emails, but now he'll say, okay, go to this server and do this and do that and do that. As I have read that email, the next execution phase, I don't know, I'm blank. I don't even know. You understand? So, and I remember the head of department asking my manager, how did I get this job? I'm always behind. I don't deliver on time. And I thank God. This is why I say favor can get you to a position, but don't abuse favor.
Yes.
Fill in the gaps that you like. So my manager would cover me up. He will come, give me instructions. I will be struggling, and he'll still come and then, do the job for me. So that's why I say favor work. But now, if you were in my position, or if I had now decided to just be comfortable, that okay, my manager will give me work and then he will do it again, and then and then I relax and I don't learn anything. Before long, I'll be kicked out of that company. Do you get?
Oh, yes.
So that alone made me to say, hey, I need to sit up. Okay, it cannot go on like this for a very long time. Their eyes are on me now, so I have to deliver. And then that is how I started learning these things. You go to YouTube, the internet has a lot of information. If you don't know anything, go and ask any foolish question. Google will give you the answer.
Oh, yes.
Google will give you the answer.
Yes.
You don't know everything. If there's a command that you need to execute, you need to run, and you don't know how to, go to Google, go to YouTube, you'll find the answer. Try it. So that is how I started filling up the gaps in my knowledge. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, 1 year, I was like the rejected stone that was rejected is now the cornerstone. That's all glory to God. Do you understand?
Oh.
Because I took it upon myself. I said, okay, I don't know how to do these little things that everybody just sits one click. They've done everything, and I'm like, it's like so cumbersome to me. I learned with this every day after work. I'll go on my computer and I'll learn, and I'll try, and I'll because I'll ask myself, why are these people? What is it that they are getting that like they're looking at me like I'm not normal, like So that was something that I took upon myself to do to fill in the gaps in my knowledge. And at the end, the results spoke for themselves. You know, my salary was reviewed after 1 year. 1 year. Me
Mm.
that did not know how to open Outlook, email, all those
Yeah.
things. But now they review my salary after 1 year.
Ooh,
And
that's a
after two
change.
years, again, another salary review. My salary was just. That's why God, if favor takes you somewhere, please remember that you have an assignment to fill in the gaps.
Yes.
Okay? It's not like it's impossible to you have a very high ranking job. No, you can. You can start at the top, but make sure that you build the foundation, sweep it and build it so that it will normalize, balance out. Okay? Don't just sit there and then relax. You pick your shock.
Here we go. Woo, that's a powerful one. That's why
Thank
most of the time people say, you are lucky to be in this position. And I usually say there's nothing like luck because luck is the formula of preparation and opportunity. When the opportunity comes, when you're not prepared, it will pass you by.
Yeah.
But when it comes when you're prepared, then you're lucky because it
Mm.
will move you now to where you want to be, where you want to be. So keep building
Yes,
yourself, keep
absolutely.
empowering yourself
Oh, yes.
when
Oh,
you get
yes.
in. And similar to your story,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually doing the AWS, but my first job was with Microsoft. And
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft is a purely Azure platform,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
different from AWS.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I saw my offer letter, I was like, I saw Microsoft. I saw the job description. It was DevOps, doing pipeline and the rest. I was asking myself, how am I going to do it? Now my manager sent me a message that based on your resume, we know you don't know Azure. You know nothing about Azure. You're
Mm.
full of AWS, but they are kind of the same. So if you're a good learner, we are giving you an opportunity for 2 months to learn. I was like, and I sat
Favor.
back. Then I sat back and gave me the platform, and that's how I was learning. That's how
Yeah.
I was learning. After my
Mm.
2 months, they gave me someone to shadow me to see if I have been learning. And they said, okay, before we give you a project, then you need to write a certification to prove yourself.
Okay.
That's when I took my first Azure certification, and that was just it. That is the favor that came in.
And
Now they
imagine if
had
you
more
didn't
to
learn.
support to follow. There we go.
Yeah. If you
There we
didn't learn,
go.
you
So
abused the opportunity.
The favor of God is upon every person.
Yeah.
Now, when you have the favor, now you don't need to disgrace the favor because God will hand
Exactly.
it to you. You need to
Ah.
now put in the work, the
Mhm.
midnight candles.
Yes.
You need to practice.
Yes.
The quality of practice is not the quantity of practice. The
Two
quality of
different things.
practice and not the quantity of practice. People
Yeah.
want to practice a whole lot, but what about the quality? What you're
Yeah.
practicing, are you digesting it? Can you
Mm-hmm.
speak it out?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you
Mm-hmm.
just want to practice because you want to practice? I'm so
Quality
excited
matters.
having this conversation with you today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So being in the industry for 10 years right now and being a tutor, being a consultant, companies are calling you that hey, we are facing this issue. From that lady that started with without knowing even how to send emails. Now being a consultant, that's a big blow. That's a big blow. So don't sit back there and you're saying to yourself, I cannot do it. This is not for me, it's for you. Everyone can do
Oh,
it.
yes, absolutely.
Everyone can do it.
You should,
Everyone can
yeah,
do
your
it.
passion
Everyone
and
is
motivation.
gifted.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what are some key lessons you have learned through your journey that will help rising tech minds, those that are aspiring to come into tech?
Right. So, as a female, okay, I'm going to speak for both genders. So, as a
Yep.
female, you're going to be faced with a lot of prejudice. And what I mean by that is people are going to judge you before they even know you. Okay. But you have to have a strong heart, right? Know your stuff so that when they judge you, your skills, your knowledge is power, as they say it.
Yes.
And it's very true. They will judge you thinking, okay, you're a woman. What do you know? Secondly, your color. It's
Mm,
a very dicey topic, but we have to speak about
yes.
it.
Honest truth.
Yeah. But, you know, that should not stop you. You know who you are. First of all, know within yourself, accept who you are, know yourself, what you can offer, what you carry. You understand? You carry God first, and then after that, you.
Mm.
So let nobody tell you nonsense. It's not saying you should become arrogant
Yes.
and then be rude. No, speak. Answer stupidity with intelligence. Have you heard?
Mm.
Yes. So that's for a lady, a woman, and then secondly, a woman of color. There's going to be
Mm.
that prejudice. Now, for men, they also experience it. Okay, especially if you are, the minority, ethnic minority. That's ethnicity.
Yes.
Like if you are black or brown or, whatever, you experience it. But there's a study that says that at least even if they experience it, they're far off than women. So women, what the struggle is that salary. You might do the same role as a man, but your salary as a woman would never be the same as that of a man. Okay, and that's why you see this gender equality NGOs coming up and everything, advocates, women empowerment advocates, because that's a reality. So facing all these things, just know that they don't define you. Okay, be it black or sorry, male or female. You're going to face people who think they know better than you. You are not supposed to exist. You're not supposed to be there. Oh, tell them. You have to tell them that your presence matters. You have a seat on every table, at every table. Okay? The knowledge you carry, nobody has it. Your fingerprint, nobody else has it. Your knowledge, nobody else has it. That's why we
Mm.
are all unique. All right? So go with a mindset with audacity. Audacity. Yes. So have an audacious faith and mindset that
Oh,
nobody should
yes.
tell you down. Tell you, no, I am relevant. I have something to offer. Okay, so have that mindset. It's a challenge. I've been in one. I'll share an experience. I was assigned to go and teach some engineers in the north of England, chemical plants. So they needed to be trained on our software. So I went there and, they're doing all the arrangements. They didn't know who was coming. They just said, this person is coming. That's it. Email. This is my name. I'm coming. And when I went there, the students walked into the class, I made sure I went there early. I was in the class. I think, they were shocked. I don't know why they were shocked. Because they thought they were expecting to see somebody, uh,
Mm.
I don't know why they were shocked, but I could see the surprise on their faces. But after introducing myself and then making everybody feel relaxed and comfortable, everything became okay. But that initial interaction was not very smooth because first it's like they were surprised to see a female coming to teach them engineers, mind you,
Yes.
engineers, managers that I'm going to teach. So and then they were wondering whether I really knew if I was the right person. What like I think they prejudged me. All right, that's a
Yeah.
prejudice. Like they'll assess you and put you on a scale without even talking to you. So when I presented myself and I said who I am, what I do, and how many years and my qualification, all those things, they kind of got relaxed a little bit. And then, but there was this particular guy, he wasn't having it. I could tell from his facial expression that no matter what, he wasn't. And it's a kind of, I think my observation was is misogyny. So misogyny is a hate for women. Okay.
Mm.
So discrimination or hates, those kind of things. So he couldn't believe that a woman would be teaching him. So
Yes.
out of 12 of them, that single man, he was acting, trying to disrupt and just disrupt the class. But I kept my cool. Okay. Knowledge is power. You
Oh, yeah.
answer stupidity with intelligence. Okay.
Mm.
You tell them, he'll ask some questions with the aim of challenging me, whether I really know what I'm talking about. And I'll just keep quiet and I make sure that the class is very quiet and then I give my answer. And when I
Oh.
give my answer, it drops like it's like that pin. When everywhere is quiet and then you drop a pin. You know how it sounds. It's very loud, but it's just a tiny pin. That is how you
Mm.
behave as a woman. And I'll advise the men to do the same. Know your stuff. Know who you are and know that
Complete.
you are valued, you are relevant. Even if people don't like you, you have what they need.
Yo, yes.
You have their solution. You have solution to their problems. So let their facial expression not deter you. So this guy, with all his difficulty, at the end of the day, everybody in class turned against him. You see, everybody turned, and he was nobody wanted to mix with or like talk to him anymore because of his behavior. So it looks like his manager called him out and talked to him, and from that moment, it was a 5-day training, and he kept quiet in class.
Mm.
So I didn't stand and exchange words. Oh, you're disturbing. Keep quiet. No, 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 no. We are all mature. We are all adults. I just tell you, see, I am here on behalf of my company to train you. And I have a plan and a structure to follow. I'm not going to disrupt what I have to meet your needs. You would follow my plan,
Oh, yes.
and it is period. You go according to my terms. I'm here to do my job. I'm not here to feed your negativity, to add, fuel to your negativity. No, that's not my job. I am here on behalf of my company to deliver training. And so it goes according to our standards, our structure, and everything. And he was quiet. And nobody dare interrupt me.
There we go.
Yes. Yes. So I wasn't rude. I didn't shout back. I just told him the truth and the raw truth. I am here to do my job, and I have a plan to follow, and it goes my way, not your way. So let's carry on. That was my answer. And the class was quiet. These are, like I said, engineers, managers, but they're coming for me to train them. So if I allow fear to get in as a woman, and not only a woman, but a woman of color, then it's like I am telling them, it's like I'm at their mercy. And if you are living like that, you are going to have a lot of mental breakdown. You are going to be depressed.
Oh, yes.
So to shut negativity out of your heart, out of all this negative nonsense, know who you are inside, what you carry, what you can offer, and go by it. If you don't know your identity, you have identity crisis. And these kind of people will make your life miserable. Yes. So
you don't know your identity, you have identity.
Yes, you don't crisis. Yes, seriously. And they will lead to depression.
Oh,
and you see that people, you say, oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh, I'm going to quit this job. Oh, no. You're going nowhere.
Keep
I'm
going.
here.
Keep going.
Nobody can occupy your space. It belongs to me. It is your space.
And there's a whole lot of space for everyone.
Of course.
Everyone.
Let nobody take your seats.
That was a good story, honestly. Especially for the women, because the back then mentality that tech is for men. So the woman is already afraid that this field is not for me. I cannot do it. Like the nursing, many men felt like nursing was for women, but right now everyone is occupying whatever they're occupying.
Absolutely.
So the thing is, as you rightly said, be it white, be it black, be it brown, whatever skin color. The inside, everyone has the same inside. There is no black inside. There is no white inside. There is no brown inside. So what you build inside is going to make your outside to be people. It's going to attract people. So build the value. Build the value. Don't be afraid. Build the value. When you are bold with what you know, because the reason why they had to send her to do the training was because of her value. I believe so. Because of your value.
The company knows what I can do.
The competence.
So the company has validated me.
Yes.
That's just their validation. I have my own personal validation. Do you get? And I go.
There's a thing in cybersecurity that before you validate, you verify. So they had to verify you. They had to go through your profile, and then it was like, "Oh, she's the best person." And so, okay, go ahead and do the job. So you see, build yourself. So when you are going through your profile, they'll be like, "Oh, this man, this woman is the right person to send." So, thank you so much. All right, to wrap it up, we have been. You can stay and we're talking a whole lot.
I know, right?
To wrapping up, just to ask an open question, is there anything else you would like to share about your journey or insight into the tech field before we go?
What I would like to say in conclusion is that tech is the best. Yeah. I'm being biased, but it is the best career. Yeah. It's the best, because everything around us is being shaped by IT technology. Okay. So don't be afraid to learn. Even if you don't aspire or, pursuing a career in tech, learn it. Okay. It's for everybody. We now live in we don't have, back in the days, if you needed to do some like money transfer, all those things, you need to go to an agency, physically go there and then fill in the paperwork, do whatever to send money exchange, etc. But today you just sit an app, you do, and then you send. Lying down, relax on your, bed or wherever you are, without having to go to an office. So what am I saying? This innovation is because somebody somewhere or some people somewhere didn't stop learning. Okay. They might not have wanted to be a system architect or whatever, but they studied technology to better the lives of humans, in our earth, on planet Earth. Okay. So my encouragement is don't think that tech is for nerds or for specific type of people. It's for everybody. It's not just learning to do a job or it is learning because everything now is controlled by technology. Okay, you don't want to be left behind. So tech is the best, the way forward to empowering people, development, and many things. Yeah. So it was nice talking to you. It was nice, being here with you, sharing my life or, my experience, and then also, to also learn from you. And yeah, to anyone listening, be encouraged. Okay. You should know who you are, validate yourself before second opinions. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. No, thank you very much. You said something. There is no bias. Honestly, let me join my voice with her voice. Tech is the best.
Yes.
Because in every sector right now, there is tech.
Yeah.
So it's not more working harder. You need to be smart.
Exactly.
You need to be smart. And to be smart,
work hard.
to take. On to take. So thank you very much for granting us the audience to have an insight of
My pleasure.
you. We really appreciate this, and it was a great one. It is a great
my
one.
pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So this is Tech. We are here to discuss about tech in every aspect, in every domain. So build yourself, encourage yourself, motivate yourself, know why you are coming into tech. Let your why factor be strong enough to keep you going.
Yes.
To keep you going. So we are coming with interesting episodes every week. So stay connected, subscribe to our YouTube page, click on the notification and leave a comment on what you want us to discuss about.